Hi, I'm Deb.
And I'm Brian.
Welcome to
Life in Guatemala.
Today we're just doing a little intro video about our Caribbean vacation that I've been kind of talking up over the last few weeks. A lot of people don't realize that you can take a Caribbean vacation right here in Guatemala. And I was contacted by a gentleman, Peter LaFerrara, who lives in Punta de Palmas, which is a small area outside of Puerto Berrios. It probably should be a little less of a drive, but the road's a little rough over there.
Yeah, getting to his place. Once you leave the city of Puerto Barrios and Santo Tomas,
yeah.
It was like a suburb there. Once you leave Santo Tomas, the road becomes dirt, and it's dirt 99% of the way to his place.
Now, he did just contact me and say they've started grading it, and so it'll be a little bit better. And he said the good road lasts about 6 months, and we got the tail end of the bad road. But anyway, we're here to tell you a little bit about it. And our vacation ended a little early. You probably saw some of my remarks about I did break my wrist and we ended a few days early. But this video includes an interview with Peter that we did. And it includes a little bit of video and photos from some of the places that he took us. And his information will be in the description box, adventuretoursgt.com. He offers a place to stay and he has a boat to take you to some pretty amazing places. And he was a wonderful host, I have to tell you.
Yeah. You keep shaking the table.
Oh.
And yeah, just to add to that, he has set up and he recommends, I think there's 4 or 5 different places that he goes to, and we were able to do 2 of them.
Well, we went to the public beach, which is right just a mile and a half down there, and then we also went to Puerto Berrios in town, and then we went to Punta de Manabique. And that was the private beach with the snorkeling and the sunken ship.
Yeah, the sunken ship isn't really that big of a thing. It's probably like a 20 or 30 foot boat that had sunk there, and that's the remains of the hull of it.
But it's nice because that's where the fish conglomerate.
Yeah, so to see some fish there, because there are no real reefs around where we looked for snorkeling, and but they did have a few tropical fish around this
and they
ship.
They had a kitchen on that private beach that was set up for a handful of meals.
Oh, that was very nice.
The food was very good.
Yep, that's where I got lobster, and it was very good.
So you have, he's got a lot of things that he can offer for you on this type of vacation. So he offered to have us come check it out and make a video to tell you about what he can do for you possibly. And so, like I said, we have an interview with him, and then we have some video of some of the places we were able to go, and then his website will be there, and you can see some photos of other places that he also offers.
Yeah, just a little preview of it, the interview portion of this that we had. He talks about what he has and what he can offer, and then he also, just like we've interviewed some other people, why did you come to Guatemala? Why do you stay in Guatemala? Why did you choose this area? So stay tuned through that, because that's about halfway in when he starts talking about those kind of things. The first part is about his, I'll call it a resort, even though it's not really set up like a resort, but his place. And then about the last half, really, I think, is talking about his experience as an expatriate living in Guatemala, and he's lived here for
12 years, I think.
Yeah, 10, 12 years, something like that. So a lot of experience.
Yeah, and after his interview, I have a little video you might have seen in one of my glimpse short videos of his place, and I would equate it, as I say in this other video, it's not luxury, but it's not camping. I would equate it as a Michigander going to a cabin up north, because it has what you need, but it's not overly, luxurious.
Yeah, it's not like a 5-star resort or something like that, but
the beds
rooms
were
clean.
super comfortable.
Yeah, the rooms were clean. The whole place was clean. Small kitchen included, small refrigerator, grill outside.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning, which
is big, because If you love the heat, a lot of people love vacations on the hot and the beach. It's not normally my thing, and that's why we live in Xela, where it's cooler than the rest of the country.
Yeah, it had to be a good 10 or 15 degrees warmer there
Yeah,
than it is here normally. So,
but makes for very nice swimming water.
Yeah.
The water was beautiful
yeah,
every time.
it was great to get in the water.
And even the
So-
public beach on the weekends, when they would be busy, compared to beaches I'm used to in the States, you could still find a table most of the time or a place to put your stuff. It was nice. I really enjoyed that part of it. And the private beach he took us to, 45-minute boat ride, Mas o menos, but boy, was it wonderful. There was only one other group of people there, and
Yeah, 4 other guys.
yeah, and it was just great. So we hope you enjoy this, and we hope you enjoy learning about, yes, I can take a Caribbean vacation even here in Guatemala. Thank you. Until next time. Oh, next time, I will talk about my appointment and how this all happened, and even though we have a video on medical things, we'll talk about right now, how it's going.
Being somebody here's broke their wrist twice now, so
No, it's not the same wrist. It was the other wrist.
They have a good amount of experience on a broken wrist here in Guatemala.
On how to go into the hospital, have a doctor's appointment, have surgery, and all that. But that'll be a different video. Okay, we hope you enjoy the rest of this one. Have a great day.
All right, bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Brian.
I'm Deb.
And I'm Pete.
Welcome to
Life in Guatemala.
Okay, all week I've been showing short videos of our Guatemalan vacation to the Caribbean side of the country. And we're here with our host, Peter LaFerrara.
Yeah.
And he has invited us here to stay at his place. He's about 5 minutes from the public beach. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about how he ended up here and what he has to offer. And maybe some of you are interested. He does have a website. It's
caribbeanadventuretoursgt.com.
and that'll be in the description box below as well. So, first of all, how long have you been in Guatemala, Peter?
I've been in Guatemala a little over 10 years.
Okay, but how long have you been here on this coast?
About a year and a half.
What brought you here initially, I guess?
You know, I liked living in Guatemala. I liked the slower pace of life. I liked the lower cost of living. I liked the weather. But I was living in Panajachel beforehand, and I really felt that the town was getting too crowded and getting too overdeveloped and too noisy, and I wanted to be back to nature. So when I was exploring places, I saw this place, and I'm on 4 acres, and there's lots of trees, there's the beach, the ocean is very clean, I go swimming, I go to rivers, and I really fell in love with the natural opportunities here.
Oh, that's great. So basically, hold on, I'll finish my sentence and I'll let you go. If you are into nature, into boating, into motorcycle riding, just enjoying, I'm going out bird watching sometimes, this is a good place to start.
Yeah, I was just going to say that he had told us in prior conversation that he wanted to live out in the country. And that is kind of like what he has here. Between him and the ocean, and him and I walked down there and looked at it, there's a rubber tree plantation. So there's rubber trees as far as you can see in that direction. And then across the street from it, up the hill, you said there were like cowboys, right?
Yeah.
I saw them.
And they have a big
herding cattle down the street this morning. Yeah.
And just even driving down the road here, there's a lot of places where they have cattle and or horses out in, looks like tens, maybe, well, you said 100 acres is your one
pastures,
neighbor, right?
Nice lush pastures, yeah.
Of that, so very tranquil. You know, this is different than the hubbub of, like he was saying, Panajachel, Antigua, the capital. Us in Xela, living in Xela, I mean, this is a very different.
This is a slower
experience
pace.
here.
It's a slower pace, yeah. So now you have a boat. You bought a boat.
Yeah, I have a boat.
And primarily, what are you thinking about for this adventure tours? You want to kind of concentrate more on the adventure side of it? And tell us a little bit about what your goal is here.
It's a great question. I really enjoy going out on the boat. I enjoy going to the beaches. I enjoy going to the rivers. And I really want to share that experience with people. And it doesn't matter whether it's short term, medium term, long term. I think eventually my goal would be to get a community of people who are interested in the outdoors and nature and this type of a rural lifestyle, and have people living here medium and long term. But that being said, I also really enjoy going out with new people and showing this experience to new faces.
So that's something to pay attention to, folks. If you're thinking you want to try out different places in Guatemala, come spend a month or two here. Let Peter show you around, and he can take you places by boat. The road can be a little rough, so to get here by car is not impossible. We did it. And we got the tail end of some of the worst of the roads, we were told, and they fix them up periodically.
Yeah, it's a dirt road or gravel road.
Yeah, it's about an hour of dirt road or gravel from the last town.
When it's bad, that's what it took us.
Yeah.
And
they usually fix it right around Easter, and for about 6 months the rain is much lighter and it stays really nice, and then progressively gets worse through the months of November, December, January, February, March, and then they fix it again. So it's sort of a cycle. It's never a problem in a motorcycle. It's a slow go in a car certain times of year.
Yeah, the problem is, because of the amount of water and dirt road, there's spots that just get kind of eroded away, so you end up with big,
but there is good
like
news.
A pothole or ruts or whatever. So they have to come through, and whatever their process is for smoothing the road, bulldozer, road grader.
They bring machines in, but regardless, we're always accessible by water.
I was going to say, that's the good news.
Depending on what type of boat you go in, it could be as little as 9 minutes between the public beach at the end of the street here and the very center of Puerto Barrios.
So, and Peter's got his boat, and part of his service might be coming to pick you up. And we're only 5 minutes from that public beach he was talking about where he docks.
Now, I have a question for you. If somebody was here and whatever happened, are some of these like water taxis or something? Or if you had the phone number of somebody that's over in Puerto Barrios, you could call them. They'd jet over here on a boat and pick you up. And
it's actually one of the most amazing parts about living here. I would have thought that as a gringo who bought his own boat, that the other boat operators would see me as competition, and it was quite the opposite. Everybody was like, welcome to our boating club, and you can park here, and if you need help with maintenance on your boat, give us a call, and if you have groups of people that are too large for you to accommodate in your boat, we will accommodate them. And if you need to pick up somebody or drop somebody off, just give us a call. We want to work with you, and we want to build tourism, and we want to work together, and we want to all advance in life.
That is nice to hear, because like you were saying a little bit earlier, if somebody comes here for a long-term thing, a month, 2 months, 6 months, there's potential that they might want to do something at a time that's not convenient for you.
Clearly.
And they might not want to, wait around, or, whatever the situations are. I know in talking to you that there's various times that you go back over to the other side of the country, and if somebody's staying here for a month, they still need to have the ability to get around back and forth. So being able to contact taxi and stuff,
that's no problem. And typically also on the public beach, there's boats going back and forth it depends on the day and depends on the weather, but it's typically between 5 minutes and every 25 minutes there's a boat.
You can find a ride.
And basically, if they're going from the left to the right, that means that they're going to Puerto Barrios, and if they're going from the right to the left, that means that they're going to Livingston, and they'll stop anywhere along the way that you want to go as well.
Now, from here, this beach here, in your boat, it was about 20 minutes for us to go to Puerto Barrios.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from here to go to Livingston is about how far?
About 35, 40 minutes.
Okay. We are going to make that trip one of these days here.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do it on Tuesday.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tuesday would be a great day.
Yeah,
But we're
perfect.
going to show you glimpses of our videos. You will probably have already seen all of our glimpses from the time we make this long video. But what else would you like to tell the people about your adventure, your accommodations? Do you have anything specific as far as inviting people in or having them to find more information?
Yeah, I mean, you can always find more information on our website. One of the things that makes this property unique is that we're also working with agriculture, and I planted 150 fruit trees. So there's that going on. Another advantage is that all of the buildings are well constructed, well insulated, air conditioned, and comfortable.
And we can attest to that. We have been here for 2 nights now. The air conditioning works fantastic.
I give the bed 2 thumbs up.
Beds get 2 thumbs up. It was extremely clean when we got here. And because he's kind of getting started in this idea of hosting people, we're helping him out with a few little pointers here and there.
And I appreciate it a lot too.
But on a whole, I have been extremely comfortable. I've got an outdoor stove I can make my breakfast on out here in the mornings, and he made us a great breakfast the first day.
Oh yeah, that was excellent.
And we're looking forward to our pizza. Is that tonight or tomorrow night?
I think that's going to be tonight.
All right.
I just made the dough a little while
All
ago.
right,
Okay,
so we're having
perfect.
homemade pizza over the fire in his smoker that he converts it to a pizza oven. So there's a lot of things that Peter, as your host, I keep calling you Peter, you refer to yourself as Pete, I'm sorry.
Either one.
You know, as your host, he is very accommodating. He has been so kind, and we highly recommend, if you are thinking about coming and checking out this side of the country, what we've seen so far has been beautiful. We're looking forward to the rest of what we have to do this week, and he's got some amazing destinations planned for us. Name some of the, we're going to Punta de Montebique, is that how we say it?
Yeah, Punta de Manabique, and in that area there's a sunken yacht, and there's typically very good snorkeling there.
Which we're kind of looking forward to trying that out.
There's also Playa Blanca, which is really well manicured with picnic benches and beautiful white sand beaches. Siete Altares is a river.
That's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, Siete
Yeah.
Altares is really nice. The water is very clear, and the water accumulates into 7 different natural pools at different levels, and there's a trail where you can walk through in between the places. And another place that I like is Punta de Cocoli, which is, there's large rocks outcropping into the ocean, and a bay that's like a little bit deep and has a mixture of sand and rock in the bottom. The water is typically a lot clearer than other places, and part of that is because it hasn't been deforested in any way, shape, or form. There's just lush tropical rainforests going almost all the way to the beach, and the color of the sand is more of a golden color than a white color.
So that's the key right there. We are here as part of the Caribbean adventure. The house is very clean, very comfortable, yet modest. This is not a luxury resort. If you're looking for, high dollar on the ocean luxury resort, and you're that type of person, this is not for you. But I will tell you what, I would be back here in an instant because I'm comfortable, I'm happy with it. We've got our own little kitchen, our own little refrigerator. It's a nice place to stay. It's not busy, it's not crazy.
I was talking with my mom on the phone last night about this, and this reminded me of a little bit when we were kids. We used to like to go camping and whatnot, and being from Michigan,
Yeah.
You would go up north to a campground, and this is very similar. You weren't right on the beach, but you could get to the beach.
Right.
You weren't right in town, but you could get someplace to buy some food, and it's just a place to go and have a relaxing time. And it would be good because for us that was a nice relaxing family time. So
Right.
a family could come here, and there's plenty of area for kids to
Explore and run around.
or he does have Starlink and Wi-Fi, so today's kids tend to be tied to their
phone.
personal electronic device, and
Today's
there's
kids,
always
today's
that
adults.
too.
Heck, I've been on
Yeah.
mine all morning.
Yeah. I was just wondering if we talk just a little bit more about initially how you got to Guatemala and kind of the things that you've done. You know, a little bit of
Kind
why
of a
you made
brief
the decision.
synopsis. Yeah.
Okay.
Why you made the decision to come to Guatemala, what you did here, what you've learned, your own personal experience and your thoughts about things for other people who, because we have some people watching who are either
Future
coming,
expats, possibly.
or they're just, some of it is just people interested in how people live in different places. So just give us a little bit of a rundown of your
culturally far different than Xela or Antigua or the city.
Sure.
But and I don't mean just specifically here, but just coming to Guatemala in general, and then what you've learned and what you've decided, and your thoughts on it.
Sure, that would be great. In my previous life, I was working in computer support. I was a field tech, and I would drive to different small businesses and fix their computer systems. I grew up in New Jersey. When I became of age, I moved to Florida, and I bought a house in Florida. And I really liked Florida. I liked going to the beaches. I liked a lot of the natural activities, and it was just a different vibe. It was much less stressful, much less traffic, a slower pace, just a better quality of life. But over the years, Florida just started growing and growing and growing.
When was it that you moved to Florida?
I moved to Florida in 2001.
Okay, so
25 years ago.
Yeah, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And I lived there for a little over 10 years, and I was on the East Coast, and it was just north of all of the cities, West Palm Beach and Miami and Fort Lauderdale. And those cities just kept growing and growing and growing into where I was living. And it really changed. But at the time, I was working in computer support for a Montessori school. And I had the opportunity to take some time off in the summer. I had spoken with some people online who were living in Antigua, Guatemala, and they recommended that I check it out. They told me that they would show me around, take me to some restaurants, and just show me the ropes. And from Florida, it was a very short flight. It was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. Right. And so I took them up on the offer. I spent 2 weeks there, and I came back during summer vacation, planning on spending 3 months. But about a month into it, I called up my boss and I told her, I will continue to do all of the computer support remotely, but as far as helping out with tutoring and stuff like that, please find someone else. And she said, that's fine. I've worked with you in computer support for a really long time, and we'll keep you on as part-time remote computer support, and go ahead, it would be great. And so I did. I spent like a month or two in Antigua, and I really like Antigua a lot. The culture, the restaurants, the historic nature of it, everything is so artistic and quaint. I really, really love Antigua, but for living, it just seemed crowded. I grew up in the suburbs. I found that New Jersey was too crowded. I moved to Florida. I, outgrew me. Yeah, exactly. So I went to Panajachel, and to be honest with you, the same thing happened. I really loved Panajachel, but it's a small town. It's got mountains on all of the different sides of it, and it just kept growing and growing and growing, and all the little green spaces got developed, and it was like, I see a pattern here, and I want to break this pattern. So I really looked high and low for someplace that had all the natural beauty, but where there really was space. So when I saw this, and I saw, 4 acres.
4 acres, that's right there, protects you from some of that growth.
Yeah, and my neighbors, I kind of learned to really like focus on observing the neighbors and what they're all about too. And when I have exactly 3 neighbors. I have one neighbor, it's a second home of a pasture, and then behind me is a rubber plantation, and then on the other side and across the street is a rancher that has 100 acres that has a bunch of heads of cattle. And I'm like, okay, this is a very limited number of people. These people are rural people. They like this lifestyle. I don't see the urban sprawl coming here anytime soon, probably never in my lifetime anyway. And then I also see that there's so many areas nature wise. There's the rivers, there's the beaches, there's things that are accessible by road, but there's also a lot of things that are accessible by water, and those things are incredible places to spend a day at, but I highly doubt they're going to turn them into the next big city.
Well, and as you were saying yesterday, some of these places, there is no road access. There's very beautiful places up and down this coastline here, the shoreline, and there's no road access to it. You have to have a boat to get to it. So until they would have to do quite a bit of work to develop roads out this way to have that urban sprawl come this way.
I don't see it.
Yeah, and because by boat you're 20 minutes más o menos from Puerto Berrios, which is the bigger town, and that already is the urban area. There's really no reason to continue the sprawl. I mean, there was some hotels closer to that direction that were on the beach. You could see the name. I think you saw one Sandlot Hotel or something.
Yeah, well, he told us about it when we were going into town.
Well, so there are some resorts on the beach as you get closer to Santo Tomas and Puerto Berrios.
Sure.
Is it Santo Tomas or San Tomas?
Santo Tomas.
Santo Tomas. It's a small town just the other side of Puerto Berrios. It's also a port city, and so you have that ability to get there and have that.
It's something nice having lived in Panajachel. It was a major ordeal if you wanted to go to the mall, or if you wanted to go to Dollar City, or if you wanted to go to these kind of stores. I mean, they built La Torre in Panajachel, and that was wonderful. But some of the other stuff, it was like you had to go to Guatemala City or Xela, or at least Quetzaltenango. But here I can be a part of it, and I cannot be a part of it. I can get on a boat, and 15-20 minutes later I'm in the center of Puerto Barrios. I can get in a car on a motorcycle. I can get to Santo Tomas in a half an hour.
Yeah.
So I wanted to live someplace that had both water access and land access, because I really like the water and I really like going places by sea. But let's be honest, there's storms sometimes. Like, if there's an emergency or something, you'd want to be able to get in and out by land or by sea, and this place fits the bill for that.
Well, I really appreciate that you invited us here.
I'm not done with my questions. You're trying to wrap up. I still have another question.
Okay. Sure. What's still question?
So, when you were here and you were in Panajachel, how is it exactly that you found Puerto Barrios, or this place? Because this is on the other side of the country, and this is not, I'm going to jump in the car and take a half hour, even a 3-hour drive to get here. It's a lot longer drive. So you had to somehow hear about this, or just looking on a map or looking online and decide, I want to go over here.
I've lived in Florida for 10 years, and I really was starting to miss the ocean. Now, Guatemala has the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean Ocean, but the Pacific Ocean is a completely different animal. The waves are very big.
Very rough over there.
The undertow can be very strong. I like to snorkel. I like to see fish. I like to swim. I like to boat, and all of those things are very difficult to do in the Caribbean because of the waves.
In the Pacific.
I'm sorry, in the Pacific. Yeah. I apologize. And here it's just warm and clear and calm, and you can do all of these types of activities. Now, when I was looking for someplace new, I wasn't sure if I was going to do stay in Guatemala. I explored some places in Honduras, which I also liked. But the thing is that I'm very set up in Guatemala with residency and everything. Like, I'm established here, and I didn't want to jump ship to another country.
Start all over again.
Guatemala has been very good to me. I have no complaints. I think that the people are good to work with. You don't have problems with the police, with driving, with all that stuff. I found it very, very agreeable. And I didn't really want to change for change's sake. So Puerto Barrios is on the Caribbean side, and I just started spending some time in Puerto Barrios. I made friends with the people that worked in the hotel, and I asked them where to check out, and I explored places on motorcycle, and I explored places on boats, and I just started exploring the region. I really liked the area of Punta de Manabique, but the roads don't go very far, and there's not a lot of places where you can just jump out and get to a beach. Not by road anyway. By boat, yes, you can, but I wanted someplace that had road access and was also accessible by water too. So I started checking out this place, and Punta de Palma is still in the municipality of Puerto Barrios, and it's still connected by road, but it's far enough away that the ocean is very, very clean, that it's got a very small town vibe to it, and that's what I liked about it. So it's basically just making friends with the people that work in the hotel in Puerto Barrios and exploring on my own.
Okay. I do know this thing when we came here, Puerto Barrios and Santo Tomas. They're two big ports here for Guatemala. And when we were driving in here, there was a cruise ship. I didn't see what cruise line it was because it was still...
It was in the Santo Tomas port.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was a very large cruise ship. So this is a cruise destination. And also, the bigger thing is the shipping.
The Chiquita banana ships.
Yeah, yesterday we went past the ship that was for Chiquita bananas, and they were putting cargo containers,
at least 100 and more.
Yeah, I mean, they were just filling it up with these things. So it's kind of an industrial kind of port in that sense. They're more industrial than cruise, because for anybody who does cruises, Debbie and I like doing cruises. There's some places that are just pure tourist, whatever. This is not that way, but the port, one good thing, right in town, if you did cruise here and got out and didn't plan a set itinerary or something, you get out and you're right in town, and you could easily
it's something that I noticed when Peter took us into town yesterday. One of the things I noticed when we got off of his boat on the river and we were walking to the bus to go shopping, there's an old part of town that's definitely locals. It's definitely locals, and it has its own charm. But for those of you that have to get out and do some mall shopping, Dollar City, Americanized stores, Wendy's, Taco Bell, those kind of, if you can't handle the seafood and you need fast food, that's here too. But the local food is here. A lot of seafood if you're a seafood lover. A lot of fresh seafood.
Right. I mean, to me, this would be just like on any coast town or whatever. Seafood is
so there's
very
a lot of advantages to being close enough to get the best of both worlds, like you said. You have the best of both worlds.
And you know what? Just for somebody who's been here for a little while, and this is kind of the way I am, is even though we have our reasons for moving here, and some of them are, to not be living in the United States and not be so focused on that stuff. So you're living in a different culture and you're integrating with that. But sometimes you get a feeling for, man, I'd like a Big Mac or something. You have that option here, because there's some, when we first
in San Marcos,
moved down
we didn't have that option.
Now, today in San Marcos, speaking of urban sprawl, they finally have a McDonald's. They have a McDonald's, and and whatnot.
6 years ago when we got there, 6.5
yeah,
years ago.
so it's
it
like,
didn't
man,
exist.
I'd really like a McDonald's or a Wendy's or something just to get a taste of back home.
You had to
And you had to
2-hour
drive for 2 hours to get it, and then 2 hours back after you were done. You had to really be desperate for that. But here,
just jump on the boat.
yep,
Yeah.
you're right here. And it also looked like, and we've only been here. This is our second
full
day.
day. Second full day. Yeah.
It looks like there's some other. When we got off your boat, and we just walked 30 feet to the street, and there's a buses passing by right there. So it wasn't like long trip by foot. It was really convenient. We got on a bus, 3 quetzales, which is under 50 cents, and he took us. We ended up having to take 2 buses, but we got right to the place where there was the McDonald's and Taco Bell's and Wendy, and
the mall,
the mall there, the Dollar City. I mean, all the
everything we needed.
Yeah,
everything we needed. Yeah,
the conveniences of kind of, I'll call it USA style life, a regular grocery store, and not the little tiendas and stuff. So
it looks like, Peter, really what you have found for yourself is your own little paradise.
It's my own personal
paradise. Your own personal paradise, because you've got no super close neighbors. You got 4 acres. You got nature all around you, birds and trees and plants and a little garden.
There's something
you got
here.
Your own chickens running around.
Well, there's something here that I don't see in Xela. I mean, there's a dragonfly flying there. Unfortunately, and a benefit for us of being in Xela, because of that climate or whatever, we don't have a lot of bugs, and I'm going to say almost 0 mosquitoes there. Here, you're in a warmer place by water.
I am using off every day,
there
and
are some
I'm also
mosquitoes and stuff, but I mean,
but
we're sitting here, this tree that I don't know how good you can see it right behind us, but just sitting here, there's
hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds are all over this tree, especially later in the afternoon. I'm not really noticing them now, but when I come out here and sit in the afternoon, there's hummingbirds all over there. And you hear, last night we saw a pair of parrots flying overhead, multiple different birds.
Yeah,
a lot more birds than we see.
On the way down to the beach, I needed to get my butt down there in the morning with my camera and get some photos, because I saw a number of different colorful birds that we don't see much in Xela either.
Yeah, well, something, once again, being on like the ocean or whatever, the salt water we get there, there's literally hundreds of pelicans all over.
So, all right, well, we are going to wrap it up now, because this video is going to get long when I add the bits and pieces that we're going to take on the rest of our trips. But we thank you for joining us. We thank you so much for being such an amazing host.
Thanks so much, Peter.
Please check out his website. We'll also have, is it okay to give an email so people can send you?
It's on the website. It's caribbeanadventuretoursgt @gmail.com.
Okay. So if you've got questions about staying here, visiting here, just taking his boat trips, whatever, contact him. He's
Don't
great.
hesitate to reach out to me.
He's great. And your phone number's on there too, I think.
Yeah, my phone number's on there. You can call me on the regular telephone or on WhatsApp.
Yep. So thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the rest of this video as you see more of our glimpses of our Caribbean vacation here in Guatemala. Thanks. I'm Deb.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Pete. Thank you.
At
Life in Guatemala.
Well, good morning from Life in Guatemala. We are here in Punta de Palmas, and this is the little home that we're staying in for the week. There's Brian sneaking by without his shirt on.
It's warm here.
It's very warm. It's not too hot right now, but it is warm.
I'm going to guess it's in the high 70s.
Yep. And we brought a couple of bag chairs. This is our little porch. We've got a little grill and a plancha there. And he's got a steamer that he also converts to a pizza oven. But let's go inside. Okay. Small little kitchen area for us. A pila, shelf, little refrigerator, a couple of pans. I brought one of my own because I wasn't sure, and he's just getting started on things. And then you got a nice long table here people can sit at, eat, play games and whatnot. There's a bathroom here in the center between the two main bedrooms with a shower. There's no extra sink in here, but you got shelves for things. And then here's the one bedroom with a queen bed. And here's the room we slept in last night, also with a queen bed. And then because we brought a lot of stuff to stay in, this bedroom that has 3 beds, we've kind of spread out in. But there's 3 beds that you could stay in here comfortably. It's a modest place. This is not a luxury resort, but it wasn't meant to be because this is about the adventure of where we're going to be going over this week. So we just wanted to let you know we're here. It's clean. It's comfortable. The bed was very comfortable last night. We both slept well. So let's take a little bit of a look. He's got 4 acres. And let's introduce you. Peter.
Yes.
Pronounce your last name for me.
LaFerrara.
Peter LaFerrara is our host, and like I said, he's got 4 acres. This in his house is across the way. Is it set up pretty much like this one?
Yeah, it's a mirror image.
Okay, so he's got the same kind of setup as this house, and he's got plans to put another little house, little Airbnb on the property because, as I mentioned, he's got property here. Now, we're about a 5-minute drive from the beach, he says. So we're not at the beach, but it's a nice, beautiful area. Lots of trees, woodland area. I mean, he's planted fruit trees. Now, what's going up back there? What are you building?
This is just going to be a little 1-room house with its own bathroom.
So that's going to be the little 1-room house. Okay. So he's putting the other house up. Let's see if I can zoom in up there. Oh, there we go. So he's in the process. And Missy wants us to pay attention. But we just wanted to give you a good morning heads up, and then I'll do a video when we go out and about later today. All right, we are out on the beach at Punta de Palmas, and this is our first full day here. So I thought I'd show you a little bit about where we are at Peter's place, and he's got adventurcaribbeangt.com, I believe is his website, but we'll make sure all of that information is in the description box. But let's show you a little bit about this, okay? So hold on. All right, Brian is getting a granizada right here, our first stop after we got off the boat. Coming into Puerto Barrios, this is Peter's boat. This is where we parked on this little canal, little river that we come in off of the ocean area back that way. And all the boats park here to come into the port to do shopping like we're getting ready to do. All right, if you decide you want to come here from the capital, you'll get off at this bus terminal. Let me change this is the bus that goes all the way from Guatemala City, and when you get off, you're gonna have lots of options, things to eat, things to shop. We're gonna walk down this street, which is kind of like the market. Right here. You can take the buses, all kinds of food stands. Right here. is the area of commerce. Okay, we're walking down the street that heads towards the main market. And you can see they have this set up every day. We're just being told. Places to eat, places to shop. I mean, there's just everything you can want right here. Okay, people, tonight we are having a very special treat. Peter is making pizza.
Could have gone in further. This is more deep than I thought.
Okay, we are coming up to the beach, and Peter's actually out of the boat pulling it because he doesn't want to get the motor along the bottom. The water is really clear, so we're gonna have some fun checking out the snorkeling.
That inboard propulsion, you drive right up on.
There's Missy and Brian, and there's Mike and Arwen, part of our adventure here. There's not a lot of people on the beach. Okay, I am swimming at Punta de Mantabique. I'm snorkeling actually, have my mask up. You see the little hut behind me that's on stilts in the water. I'm looking for some fish right now. Lunch at Punta de Mantabique. This is the lobster. This is the shrimp and the fish. All right, what'd you get, Pete?
I also got a fish.
Ah, and more lobster. Okay.
It's buttery.